In the history of competitive gaming, there has never been a duo quite like T2P. Scump and FormaL flexed their otherworldly gun skill in a way that no teammates have ever done before and delivered endless entertainment outside of the game as well. Other duos have tried to match up to their greatness, but none have succeeded thus far. This is the story of T2P.
TP, Aches, Krim, and Karma are, without a doubt, the COD gods at the moment.
In 2014, the Complexity Dynasty was on top of the world, winning multiple other tournaments to cement themselves as one of the greatest teams in esports history. This roster looked unbeatable, or so we thought, because at the tail end of the year, Karma shocked the community by departing the roster amid internal drama.
Karma has been sent to the bench after declaring he no longer wants to play on Evil Geniuses.
Team Envy smelled blood in the water. They would go on to dominate the tail end of the year, winning 2 championships in the process. And it was Matthew FormaL Piper, the rookie coming from Halo, who stole the headlines, posting the #1 KD in both victories.
FormaL, he just had some of the best reaction time in the game, and he's shown that he can carry that skill over to any first-person shooter. I think you guys...
FormaL had immediately turned heads, not just as the most promising Halo player to make the switch at the time, but just because he looked like the best player in the game almost immediately. Just how good could this guy really get? In the end, it was Evil Geniuses who took home the final tournament at ESWC with Dido in place of Karma. Dido was a good player, no doubt, but EG wanted to build another dynasty.
He wasn't terrible, but like, help me on one shot, help me.
He didn't fit our team.
Yeah, he did not fit our team.
And all had their eyes on one player and one player alone, that being FormaL.
That was the impression, that it was going to be me, T, FormaL, and Krim.
No, yeah, but it was just a really weird situation that went down. I just wanted to play with Krim at the time.
And I don't know what happened between then and the beginning of AW. Fell through.
First off, let's start with who joined. We got Krim in the back, you guys just saw him, and then we have FormaL.
Yeah, so this is FormaL, guys. If you didn't know, I've posted him in a few videos. He's been in my live streams. This is our new teammates. He's a 2-time Call of Duty champion after only 1 year.
FormaL got his wish of teaming with Crimsix, but the roster he would end up on was OpTic Gaming, alongside Seth, Scump, Abner, and Matthew Nachod Haig. Scump was the community's golden boy, superstar of the league, one of the absolute best players in the game and calling all the shots. Up until this point, FormaL and Scump didn't really have many interactions apart from a one-off encounter during their match at COD Champs 2014.
It was COD Champs. Matt came up to me, he said, "You finally get to play me." And I said, "What?"
It was something along the lines of, "I've heard you wanted to play me on LAN," and then we ended up playing that and we got 3-0 so fast.
FormaL had to change the first impression he'd left on Scump, and in the opening event in Columbus, he did exactly that.
Don't throw. I got him behind you, bottom mid. Another one, Dirk. I didn't get it. I got him. Yeah, running at bottom. Oh my god! Jump it. Oh my god! Play reset. He's that ball.
Stun.
I'm watching it. Dead, let's go. Behind me, no one behind me. I got him, let's go. Bottom mid.
FormaL went off against his old team, leading OpTic to the grand finals of his debut event. But it was in the final where Scump took over, as he led the whole team and all finalists in kill-death ratio.
Last man up here, 3 down for OpTic. They're going to spawn out. It's going nuts. Last time we checked in with him was a minute 30 ago. Sid said he's picked up 10 straight kills. 172, 153. OpTic now extending their lead to 20 points.
But FaZe Clan proved a tough nut to crack. The team was led by none other than Aches, fueled by OpTic's rejection and playing the final with stitches in his thumb. After a rollercoaster series, the game went all the way to one final round of Search and Destroy. Winner takes all.
The challenge, not gonna get the kill.
Krim, bullets in his back. Trying to stay alive. Sensor's going to get him.
Sensor, that's a huge kill on Crimsix. Time is ticking away. It's Nachod with the kill. 3 versus 3. Time is ticking. Oh, Sensor! He just got a kill on Bubble Game by a second! Sensor! Unbelievable play! That leaves Nachod 1 on 3. He's going to get the kill though. 29 seconds left. Bomb down. Can he stay alive? Nachod now! FaZe win the championship!
Scump and FormaL were unsuccessful in their first event as an official duo, a decent performance no doubt, but one overshadowed by a villain establishing himself as the Green Wall's #1 hater.
You are now the winningest player on LAN here in Call of Duty. What do you have to say to everybody out there?
For me, it's more of a pride thing. I really wanted to come out here and prove that, you know, I am who I am, and I don't need anybody else to, well, other than these guys. You paid, I don't remember what it was, but you paid whatever for all 4 of us. Obviously, I got pushed out of that.
What are the likelihood that we will ever see OpTic Ace?
You're gonna have to ask Hex that question.
In a different point of view, from your point of view, we're the villains. Rightly so, because we're the bigger org that came in and started, you know, using all of our influence to be able to take, you know, to pick apart the team that you created in a sense.
But behind the scenes, Scump and FormaL was slowly building some serious chemistry.
No, yeah, I'd do anything for you, bro.
No,
in
he
or
wasn't
out,
being
in or
mean.
out of town. We're going shopping. Matthias, what are you getting?
I need socks.
Yo, hold on.
Shirts.
Matthias is an absolute freak. I love teaming with the kid. Look who has decided to join us finally. It's Matthias.
Let's go, Matthias! You sexy man!
In one of the most iconic listenings of all time, Scump made it clear that he was FormaL's biggest hype man. UMG Orlando marks the first ever victory for T2P, the first of many to come that season.
But I'm gonna stop necking FormaL. But I just wanted to let you guys know that we're at 60% right now. We got Matthias here, aka OpTic FormaL.
Don't mind my hair either. I know it's really long.
He's really funny. He just is so weird. I freaking love it. He's hilarious.
The Green Wall was witnessing the birth of Call of Duty's most iconic duo, and they'd come up with a name to match. Time to pound the opposing team, or T2P. At the Stage 1 playoffs, T2P were as deadly as they come, with both players in the top 3 for KD. And in the grand final, OpTic dismantles Denial and took them down once again at the regional final to qualify for Champs.
We got FormaL sniping pools across the map. We got Seth clutching up.
COD fans had never seen a duo quite like this before. Scump was the most impactful individual SMG player that we had ever seen at the time, but 2015 was the first time he had an equally dominant AR force alongside him. We were witnessing the start of a potential dynasty, and with the World Championship around the corner, there was no doubt OpTic were the favourites to win.
As they get revenge, they're going to take this series 3-1 over OpTic Gaming. Incredible stuff out of Denial here on the biggest stage in the world.
Sweet revenge, you know.
OpTic's overconfidence completely blew up in their face. In Winners Round 1, revenge was served by Denial, who had learned plenty from the previous 2 losses. And just a few games later, another familiar foe awaited them in Losers Round 3.
There's a lot of eyes all in this direction for FaZe.
Oh, if Ace can stay alive here for a little bit longer. He's actually just picked up 2. Phenomenal play from them, and FaZe are coming back into it. 198 to 187 as Ace picks up another kill on Nature. It is. You can start the countdown now if you're a FaZe fan, because with 17 seconds left, it's impossible, and FaZe know it. They stand up in the booth. The high fives come out.
I told Krim when EG split up that I would beat him where it matters, and then I went Columbus. And going into this match, it was like I gave him 3 events in the past few months, and I told him this event was the one that mattered, and I'd beat him here. So
You're playing the role of the villain in this sort of the Green Wall story.
Aches was thirsty for green blood, and OpTic's dreams quickly turned into nightmares. Despite a heroic performance from Scump, T2P finished only 7th, and their wait for a ring would continue. For FormaL, it was an underperformance by his standards, only a 1.15 KD, with Clayster of Denial snatching his spot as the number 1 AR with a 1.3. But the bad news for Clay was that FormaL took this loss personally, and in the following event in Paris, FormaL showed him that there were levels to this game.
3v1 or 2v2, it's hugely important to kind of catch one player off guard and get that pick.
Oh!
With a huge shot on Clayster, by the way.
That shot across, and FormaL picked it. FormaL actually getting another scope there. Let's see if we can jump on board with him. Oh my goodness, FormaL gets the third!
You might as well get the 4th.
Oh, he will get it.
He loves it. He's screaming.
T2P now had 4 championships in their first 6 tournaments together, and as Nadeshot departed for Enable and then Karma, the outcome remained the same.
OpTic Gaming taking map number 1.
Yeah, I mean, that was dangerous time for OpTic Gaming. We saw
Scump,
2.
Scump, stop, please. And try to win this gunfight first. FormaL and FormaL just destroyed him in midair with the Moors in hand.
Scump and FormaL were as deadly as it gets, finishing back-to-back tournaments with a top 3 KD each. Standing between them in a historic four-peat was the X Games, a tournament that many pro players saw as very prestigious at the time. FaZe had assembled quite the team, with superstar SMGs Hook and Zuma coming along for the ride. But T2P and OpTic quickly showed they were built for the challenge.
It's going to be a 1v1. Slasher against Scump. Oh! The king!
We were witnessing one of the game's greatest SMG players at the peak of his powers, as Scump completed a hat-trick of events with over a 1.2 KD. FormaL was right behind him, with consistent showings all season long.
Is there a cap for this team? Are you just going to win forever?
That's the plan, hopefully.
OpTic were untouchable, but they wouldn't remain unchallenged for long.
Safe to say Epsilon 0-5 in the Pro League right now takes down the Giants, OpTic Gaming.
At the following event in Dallas, OpTic suffered a shock defeat to Epsilon in Winners Round 1. In order to complete the 5-peat, they would now have to win 6 straight matches in the losers bracket to get it done. T2P had to dig deep, and ultimately they did grind it out and reach the grand final. With whatever energy they had left, OpTic would now have to take down an absolute behemoth. FaZe Clan were once again upgraded, adding Champs MVP Clayster and fellow world champ Attach into the lineup. This seems like the team assembled to take down the dynasty, and the series proved just that. T2P was swept 3-0 for the very first time. The effort, though, was commendable. Once again, both players finished in the top 10 for KDs. But Attach and Zuma took the championship and began their own duoship, which would last for years to come, with multiple championships to their name. For some years, they were FaZe's answer to T2P, devastating at their peak, but overall lacking the consistency of the true greats. OpTic was set up for revenge at the following event in London. Both teams met again in the final, and T2P were fired up, taking a 3-1 lead in the series, just one map away from securing redemption. Yet somehow, FaZe clawed their way all the way back, taking things to a final map 7. A crucial map, the potential to alter the entire trajectory of the season.
In terms of aggregate, Zuma gets 2 straight off the rip. First blood, Zuma coming into full effect here. Now Enable is going to have to just take him down, and oh my goodness.
FaZe gonna win your summer 100K championship for Gfinity.
FaZe had now officially dethroned OpTic Gaming as the #1 roster in the game, as they secured back-to-back trophies. And there were serious beliefs that Clayster was the best AR in the game, and Zuma was coming for Scump's throne as well. At UMG DC, Clayster continued to shine with an outstanding 56-kill performance, but it was here where FormaL started to take it personally. The very next day, he was prepared for showtime.
He's such an amazing battle. You know, people argue, they say, oh, is it Clayster, is it FormaL, is it the amount of battle players that we have in this game, and he is one of the best, if not the best player using that battle in the game that we have today, and he's definitely showing it right now, on track for over a 50 bomb. We saw this last night. Clayster almost had the opposition points. There's a minute and 50 seconds left remaining. FormaL picking up more and more kills, 51, 4 more kills, he'll be at 55, 1 more, he'll have Clayster's score, and he's picking up more and more, 52 right now. As we'll be advancing on, getting ready to rotate center. Looking to be out of this one. Yeah, this is all but over. Honestly, the kills from FormaL, he's at 56. FormaL still at 56. He hasn't gotten that 57. He does it now. Can he find the 58 kill? Does pick it up now. 58 kills. Can he drop the 60? Warm the hill. There it is. There's the opportunity to get it. Can he grab a 60 bomb? There's a 60 bomb.
FormaL's performance against Stunner tied the record for the most kills in one game at 60. Fans were desperate to see Red vs Green one more time in the finals, but in a shocking turn of events, FaZe crashed out in top 8, leaving the road to redemption clear for the Green Wall.
You look at the other side of the map, everything is going down. Crimsix picks up 1, Scummy picks up 2. Hook in a position to try and trade it. He's going to go down and replaces left in a 1v4, picks up 1. He goes down as well. And OpTic Gaming just blitzed them
in 15 seconds.
8 tournament victories for T2P and OpTic, as Scump had the joint highest KD at the event. OpTic seems destined to close out the remaining 2 tournaments.
Numbers now 17-11, he's pushing forward.
Oh my God, what? Why
oh my God, surely not.
But instead, FaZe snatched it right back. Despite making yet another grand final, OpTic were hit by an avalanche. FaZe, who had to win 2 best-of-7 series, got it done with an 8-2 overall map count.
We were trying to make a team that was like really good, to the point where we can actually go to these events and compete with the Dynasty, which is crazy. That's just how good the OpTic Dynasty was at the time. Like, they were so good, like they were so dominant. Like, we had to try and build a team to take them down in terms of talent. Yeah, and the rest is history after that, man. I mean, we made that team, and then we won, what, 3 out of the next 4 events?
Their playstyle just hard countered how we played.
No, I think their playstyle was brain dead.
I mean,
I hated playing them.
But what's worse, though?
If they don't even know what they're doing, how the fuck are we supposed to know what they're doing?
But in true storybook fashion, one final tournament remains. At the MLG finals, T2P had the opportunity to rewrite history against the team that had their number all year long, and rival duo Attach and Zuma.
And then this tournament, this is like the grand finale of the whole year. So we want to end this year on a bang. We want to win the last tournament and just show everybody that we really were the most dominant team.
This was going to show us what T2P were truly made of. Both teams flawless in group play, and the inevitable grand final had all the makings of an all-out war. But just when you thought it couldn't get crazier, FaZe had an early stumble once again, taken out by Elevate, who destroyed their side of the bracket en route to the winners' finals. It was there they met none other than OpTic, and after taking a 1-0 lead, the green wall held its breath. Someone from OpTic had to step up. And who else but FormaL? The Moors in his hands knew exactly what time it was.
Yeah, gonna be tough for Elevate to take this one. Another snipe from FormaL. 2 picks in a row for him. Sniper starting to heat up. Always dangerous if that's happening. Sees another one at the green shack. Going for the sniper ace now. Sees the last one. Glowing orange. There it is. FormaL with the snipe.
FormaL was in a different type of zone at the Worlds, leading OpTic to another grand final.
Big kill comes in from Karma. It's essentially a 1v3 for Temp. Tournament life on the line, and he goes down.
OpTic Gaming has done it again, Ben.
Winning MLG World was the ultimate exclamation point on the season. 9 out of the 14 championships, plus 4 more finals appearances. FormaL and Scump never once dropped below a 1 KD. The duo only went below a 1.1 on 3 occasions. T2P and AW was a level of dominance that had never been seen in COD history, before or since. Not satisfied just yet, they looked to enter a new dimension for Black Ops 3, and the season kicked off with a big announcement. Activision had acquired Major League Gaming and announced the Call of Duty World League for 2016. As a result, there were fewer third-party tournaments from hosts like UMG and Gfinity, so T2P knew they had to crank it up a notch and wasted little time in showing it.
Strategies, they're just taking it to him, and there's 2 kills. 1v2, can Scump.
Yeah, he's going to turn around, go the other way. Is he going to be able
to
wins it? So we're going to have a 1v1. We're going to have, just wasn't enough to finish him. And Scump.
There it is!
And Scump with a 1v4 round number 1.
Scump's 1v4 at the qualifiers set the stage for what would be another unforgettable season. Stage 1 playoffs was the first official CWL event of the season, a single elimination tourney where margins for error were small. OpTic were confident of clinching another major, but instead they found themselves down 3-2 against an unlikely opponent in TSM. Up next was a daunting Game 6. The pressure was mounting, but it was Scump who took matters into his own hands.
Jack is there, he's gonna turn and burn another. Scump going huge when his team needs him. He's 29-16, making 30.
Right now.
He's on a 5 streak, 75 off his Lightning, and Scump, the king, is taking control.
He's got 1 player, oh my! Just turns, burns, Colchan, he's gonna earn the Hellstorm and...
With a 40 bomb and hardpoint, Scump carried the team to one final map of Search and Destroy, where FormaL put the game to bed.
A brilliant play, he's gotta win one tough gunfight there. There it is, 25 seconds left, 1 versus 1, he's got camo, doesn't even need to use it! FormaL, Matthew Piper going big! Look who's coming from behind, it's gonna be FormaL now with the flank. He picks up 1, 2 players left. Colchan and Ivy, they've got the world against them, they've gotta go nuts here, they win a couple, but that's it! Crim6 is on the bomb, and OpTic Gaming has taken the game 7.
This was a reality check for OpTic, especially T2P, who were playing below their lofty standards to which they were understandably held. But a 4-0 sweep in winners finals against Elevate put the team in a great position to win the event. Standing in their way was Rise Nation, winners of the opening 2 events of the year. This was poised to be a great series, and it did not disappoint. The series went all the way down to one final map. The difference between winning and losing, 1 round of Search and Destroy, as the green wall held its breath.
And it all comes down to 1 damn round of S&D. Who will be crowned your champions? Looney at top grandmas. There's a player flanking around behind. Is he going to be able to win this? Not able to get it. First blood goes to OpTic.
From the mid-map of potentially pushing from the defensive side, and things could break this setup.
That's another one. It's 4 versus 2. They're able to pick up 1 kill. All of a sudden, 2v2. They're picking him up. It's now 4 down. OpTic Gaming has done it.
They go huge.
A crucial kill from FormaL on the flank proved to be the catalyst in OpTic getting over the line. Had Looney won the gunfight, he may well have held on to his heatwave, spelling disaster for OpTic. This event, though, was by no means a slaying masterclass from T2P, but rather a masterclass in composure. Octane Rise was the KD leader, so T2P were not satisfied with that, and they were set to raise their game. The next two tournaments were held overseas. First was the Crown Melbourne Invitational, not exactly a major, but another victory for the Green Wall nonetheless. Up next was ESWC in Paris, a tournament with the best teams from the European region. OpTic were beaten by Millennium in pool play as Rise fell to Splice in bracket play. EU teams were feeling themselves this event, so OpTic had to dig deep heading into their rematch with Europe's #1.
C'était un choix assez bizarre, je pense qu'il a essayé de tuer la personne au fond, il a essayé de pêcher avec le zouk, peut-être le triple, oh là là,
triple kill avec la faux alors qu'on passe.
OpTic torched Millennium in the semi-final, booking a date with Splice in the grand final. The series had the makings of a classic, but as the Paris crowd roared, Prime Scump was activated on Stronghold hardpoint.
He's going to kill that. Scump picks up two. They're coming around the back. Scumpy with a 3, and he shuts down Splice in one foul move.
He's trying to get
Cerberus is out.
He's trying to. He hasn't managed to.
Look at this scoreline. You know, more than anything, I think Splice.
Well, 10 straight. Make that 10 straight.
And I was just like, Jesus, dude, this dude's going off.
I was 27-9 at one point.
Yeah, it was getting pretty out of hand fast too. Like I was here in the crowd. I
started shooting bodies, and I never shoot bodies.
Yeah,
I don't shoot bodies, and I shot someone's body.
Beefing up their trophy cabinet once more, now they had a golden opportunity to complete another four-peat as MLG Anaheim loomed. OpTic were public enemy #1 to their rivals, and not to discount the immense contributions of Crim and Karma, but their two-headed monster was finally firing on all cylinders. OpTic completed one of the greatest uplink comebacks of all time. This win electrified the Green Wall as the team went on to dominate the rest of the tournament.
Look at the top right. Slow it down. Look at the top. Slow it down. They need to take their time. They need to make a good punch.
Oh, my tip is getting nothing done. That's the second shutdown. TP. Oh, they're almost on a 20 streak combined for OpTic. This is insane.
They do this time.
MLG Anaheim marked the 4th win in a row for OpTic Gaming as FormaL secured another MVP award. Stage 2 playoffs was a chance to make history and win 5 events in a row, joining the Complexity Evil Geniuses dynasty.
Seth, most serious threat at Season 2. What team?
Nobody.
30 seconds on the clock. Scump has to go huge here. He has a VMP to work with. It's going to be Nameless and inbound. He spotted him. Can he win it? Nameless gets it, and that is it. He guns Scump for the 6-2 victory, and LG have gotten one of the biggest upsets we've seen at the CWL. They've done it.
But even these two couldn't win them all. In round 1 of the playoffs, OpTic was stunned by Luminosity and immediately eliminated. It was Team Envy who showcased their dominance, dropping just 2 maps en route to the trophy. OpTic could sense Envy's late season surge and had to catch their breath heading into MLG Orlando. And what better way to start than with revenge against LG.
Trying to win one gunfight here is Scump, tagged up and has to back down. You'll see the drones got into the backside of OpTic Gaming's track. Scump, oh God! Lord have mercy, Scump shreds too.
OpTic's clutch factor reigned supreme once again, and it would continue the entire event. After losing the first best-of-5 to Envy in the final, OpTic remained poised to close out the match. The perfect scenario for T2P. The momentum couldn't have been any higher heading into the World Championship, where they were still chasing the elusive Champs ring. Surely this year they would cap off their dominance.
You're in the middle of the map, Falls. It's all up to Karma in a 1v2. Both of these players are right in front of him. Not even to take out either one. He goes down, and Complexity have done it. 6-3.
But again, OpTic had a slow start in the biggest tournament of the year. An early stumble to Complexity in pool play led to a date with Envy in Winners Round 1. Envy were hungry for revenge, and the series proved just that. Another flat performance from OpTic, who were thrown into the losers bracket gauntlet for the 2nd straight season. Unlike it was scripted, T2P encountered a familiar opponent. Patrick Aches Price had been patiently waiting for this time, too long without a taste of Green Wall tears. OpTic v Cloud9 was personal, as the series went all the way to a Game 5 Round 11. Everything was on the line.
Where they're going on the rotation, they're going to be hitting as well. Salt's going to be coming over the top.
bomb player is going to die. Crimsix is going to fall as well. 2v4, Karma and FormaL. You have your work cut out for you. 30 seconds. That bomb is down. C9 has a very nice setup as well. FormaL's able to pick up one. He's not going to get traded out as well. Karma doesn't get the second. Player coming and challenge over top. FormaL's going to be able to help him out. Karma going for the kill. FormaL up to you. 1v1 situation. Assault coming over. And Assault wins the 1v1. OpTic Gaming. We will see you fudging later.
FormaL had won countless gunfights in his career, but on this occasion, it was Assault who announced himself to the green wall. Scump was also criticised for losing a key gunfight earlier in the rounds, and their own teammate Karma has gone on record to call out the duo's questionable plays at times.
Even like Ian, I could always rely on to make let's say the smart play. Seth and Matt, I didn't always know it was going to happen.
If T2P wanted to cement their status as the greatest ever duo, they still needed to win the big one. The huge individual slaying and plenty of trophies were unprecedented, but the Complexity Dynasty had also won champs back in 2014, featuring their most notable duo, Aches and TP. Perhaps Scump and FormaL needed to change their approach heading into Infinite Warfare, whether that was playstyle or mentality. But with how the season started, maybe they would not even get the chance. Because after a dismal showing at CWL Vegas, OpTic then followed this up with another underwhelming display in Atlanta. Down 5-2 against Panda Gaming in Map 5, OpTic were on the brink of bombing out top 8, almost certainly spelling an end to OpTic's roster and potentially the duo as well. But round after round, they rallied back to push things to one final performance. Game 5, Round 11, a situation that T2P were all too familiar with. FormaL may have lost the previous 1v1, but on this occasion, it was Karma put in the situation.
Coming down here to the side, is it fastball spot Karma? That is the question. Karma's going to be right on the other side of the wall. We can see it through X-ray. My heart is racing, and Karma is going to come out on top and take it.
Karma clutched up the 1v1, a moment that would come to define T2P's legacy. This gunfight electrified OpTic Gaming as they made it all the way back to the final. United were the new kids on the block, and they took the victory this time, but OpTic was still charged by Karma's 1v1, and it led them to utter dominance at CWL Paris. OpTic 3-0'd their way through the entire winners bracket, and awaiting them in the final, the team that tortured them 2 years before. FaZe was still unchanged since the Advanced Warfare days, and were looking to rekindle the spark that led to their 3 finals wins over OpTic. But T2P were not playing around anymore. They demolished FaZe in a historic final battle between 2 iconic rivals. FaZe would then trade Clayster and would fail to win for the rest of the season. Paris marked the return of Prime FormaL as he won another MVP. But at CWL Dallas, it was the return of Prime Scump as well.
Wrapping the edge, he gets the points. There's the full streaks. Another one in the corner, and that's going to be 9. 22 and 13 with the smile. It's in the corner, but it's Scump forward. Gets 2, 0, and Madcap both cut down. There's one more at the end. There's 3. He just needs Jerd now for the ace. He's wrapping the back. Give me all the kills.
Scump kicked things off with some critical plays in Search and Destroy, before tagging in FormaL to make the play of the tournament against FaZe in the winners' final.
There's exactly where this next player is.
And look at the play from Clay. There goes the jump though. The FPL jump too short.
FormaL's turn and burn onto Clayster almost summed up their rivalry at this point in a single moment. While Clay began to falter, FormaL kept performing at his signature peak. And yet, like in so many other tournaments, the grand final was not decided until the final map, against a tough E-United opponent. But once again, they had Karma to thank for getting over the line. FormaL was the MVP of Paris. Scump was now the MVP of Dallas. T2P had proved they were back and on a mission to finally conquer the World Championship.
Honestly, I'm just putting a lot of time into this game. I'm trying not to get complacent. I just want to keep winning and keep winning. And it seems like we're kind of all on the same page with that.
But in the middle of the season, the energy began to shift. Luminosity and Splice emerged from the shadows, looking to spoil their party. Splice took home the Stage 1 playoffs, while LG emerged victorious one event later in Anaheim. Scump, by his own admission, was in a slump in this period and needed some extra motivation to get OpTic back to winning ways. Unfortunately, his duo provided exactly that.
I was bad at IW at the start of the game, got better at the end of the game because I found my love for it again because of FormaL. FormaL like pushed me. He was like, "What are you doing? Like you're sucking. Like get into it." So FormaL gave me that push,
FormaL gave Scump the spark that reignited him, with the hopes of powering them to a strong finish to the season. But at the Stage 2 playoffs, OpTic's engine seemed to stall. United, now led by Clayster, were a team built to rain on OpTic's parade. They took the series 3-0 as OpTic fell to the losers bracket. It was a position that OpTic very rarely won tournaments from, but this was now or never for T2P. Champs was just around the corner, and FormaL knew that it wasn't about gun skill anymore, but mentality.
You kind of pride yourself on coaching Seth and to have like a killer mentality.
Yeah, I was sick of seeing him going to events and like fucking being buddy-buddy with all the kids that were beating us.
Yeah.
And like, I just didn't like that. And like, yeah, I kind of brought out a different side of him where we just started talking shit to everyone.
Losers round 2 against FaZe was a classic, and it went all the way to a map 5. It seemed the perfect time for Scump to turn up.
There's only 12 seconds, a 1 versus 2. Scump, he just needs to take out the player who is defusing the bomb. Which way does he go? He's going to be spotted, but can he find Enable? Yes, he can! Scump clutches up.
His 1v2 helped OpTic live to fight another day, but in true storybook fashion, T2P had a shot for revenge against United in the losers' final. And with these high stakes, the duo came out swinging.
Knows you're here, though. And now, with the man advantage, United trying to press the action. Scump, do it! Scump things! There's a lot into this round, and rightly so. But Clayson, FormaL sees them both. He picks up one, and he's getting out of there. FormaL v Clay, 2 of the best ARs on the planet right now.
Clayster.
23 seconds, he's spotted! Oh. Green wall! FormaL. Sneaky sneak. Oh, and look at this!
A crucial round 10 clutch from FormaL on his nemesis was poetic, but as things went to a map 5, composure was needed to put the game to bed. T2P did not hold back. After Clay's earlier jab, Scump fired back with a 3-0 side of his own. You don't see that side of Scump too often, but when you do, it meant one thing. He was coming for the ring. But first, they had to worry about winning the playoffs, because rising from the ashes was Team Envy. After winning the World Championship the previous year, their form had fallen off a cliff. But with Slasher now back to his best, FormaL knew he had to dig deep.
25 seconds left as Crim has gone massive. Centurion out, and there is one more flood here from Envy. Can OpTic hold on? FormaL with a 3-piece! FormaL with all 4!
FormaL was simply unguardable in the playoffs, winning his 2nd MVP of the season. The Green Wall couldn't have been happier going into Champs, an event where T2P would enter their final form.
We think that we're the best team, which is why we've stuck together even after those disappointing finishes. But until we win Call of Duty Champs, we're not going to be considered the greatest Call of Duty team ever. I don't even know how many tournaments we won together, honestly. But because we haven't won those 2 since we've been a team, it's like those don't even count.
Stop, boo, butt bans might be the new storyline we say. Scump now with reactive armor. He does not want to burn it on this hill, but he might just have to. Mad Cat gets gunned. They're still contesting. One of these teams just has to take control. Now it will be out the gaming. Scump turns and burns. There goes Jerd.
Bants in. Bants in. But he does get in behind to try to make the play. FormaL still up. Camo from Karma.
FormaL's FTL jump in the dying moment of the game paved the way for OpTic to close out the series, but awaiting them in the winners final was none other than Envy, looking for vengeance once again. Envy proved inevitable, and for Slasher, it was 3 straight wins against OpTic at Champs. It was now going to take a Herculean effort from the entire team. First, win the losers final, then win 2 best-of-5 series to claim glory. Maybe T2P were destined to never win a ring, or maybe this is exactly how the story was meant to unfold.
And if you're FormaL, you talked about the fact he hasn't won a Champs and he has to come up big. He's 35-19, and there's a dunk to seal it.
I mean, let's quickly tell the story, right? OpTic Gaming coming into Infinite Warfare. They had that terrible placing at Champs last year, 7th place, 2 years in a row. People were doubting this team. Will they stick together throughout the season?
I put in a lot of time that year, and I was like, I kind of gave that year my all.
Because we saw OpTic play this the other day. FormaL hits a snipe there to open things up with first blood, but you know, as the game goes on, maybe we see that smoke comes out and FormaL with the sniper, more than OpTic Gaming. They're able to touch the drone 6 times there, OpTic Gaming 4, but OpTic Gaming...
And the second that first game of 5 went in our direction, and FormaL and Seth are pointing at Slasher and saying, that's my trophy, it was salt down from there, because at that point, the other team was just in shambles.
FormaL continues to destroy a 6-3, 29-17, getting the better of his counterpart in Slasher. FormaL doing it all for OpTic Gaming. The curse has been broken. The dynasty has been cemented. They are the greatest roster in Call of Duty history.
The best moment of my life right there. And probably Seth's too.
Whenever you finally win it, it's like, I don't know, it's just like nothing matters to you anymore. It's like, thank God, you know, it's like, we won.
T2P were finally world champions. From the heartbreak of Advanced Warfare and the pain of Black Ops 3, they had climbed every mountain to arrive here, at last, together. The duo who couldn't win the big one finally had claimed the crown together. Scump and FormaL were hoping to go back to back like another duo of the present day. But they would soon learn that winning was not guaranteed, especially with the game changing every year. Call of Duty World War II was the polar opposite to the fast-paced jetpack era that came before. T2P, who were renowned for their slaying power, were now forced into an entirely different environment, one more focused on holding your irons and playing much slower. OpTic's cracks appeared once again as they failed to make any real noise in the first few months. But somehow, some way, they clinched their ticket to another grand final in the playoffs. Waiting on the other side was a familiar set of faces, FaZe Clan, still marked by the scars of old battles. This was the same team that OpTic battered for 2 years straight, but now they were burning for payback.
They're getting tagged up though. Scump with a kill, Priest with a kill. It's all unattached now. The comeback seems to be dead. The comeback seems to be dead. He runs through his own artillery. He runs through his own artillery. And now it's a 1 versus 1. Crim's got to find the kill or get this planted. Oh my God, Crim's hitting mid-map. Attach comes back. Here's the gunfight. Attach is able to win it.
In one of the most jaw-dropping plays in COD history, Attach ran through his own artillery to win an impossible 1v3, the old duo with Zuma getting their revenge. And just like that, OpTic's championship slipped away. The writing was on the wall. FormaL made the tough decision to split the duo up and start a new chapter without Scump.
Crim wasn't going to leave, and him and Seth were kind of just like agreed upon that they were just going to be together or something. And obviously Seth was just like not droppable or not leavable, like he was going to be there. On a real note, like we've both seen success, we both dealt with hardships of our own. It's just like, it's whatever, you know? Because I just need to get out of that situation, bro. It was so toxic and it was so depressing.
In the end, both players failed to win an event in World War II, but it was Scump in particular who felt the loss on a deeper level.
I need a good public system, and I need a good game to enjoy what I'm doing and be good. I just started personally not playing as good as I used to, and I think Matt was disappointed in me, and he didn't think that I was trying to be the best player that I could. Our friendship obviously suffered because of that. We got mad at each other, we didn't like each other as much anymore.
Heading into Black Ops 4, it would be the first full season where both players were separated. And while they still found success, it never felt the same. And when neither reached the Champs Grand Final, fate would soon intervene.
I'm watching, I wake up on Sunday and I pull up the stream and they're just getting pounded by Funasher. And I'm like, dude, that wouldn't happen if I was there, you know what I mean? He texts me and he's like, hey man, can we talk? I mean, I was just like super down as like a competitor at the time. I was like, at that point, like him texting me was like a blessing.
After a year-long hiatus, T2P were officially back. Now on the Chicago Huntsmen, a franchise in the brand new Call of Duty League. Gone were the bright greens of OpTic, in their place, a darker shade, fitting a more serious era in the CDL. This was a different time. T2P might be back, but there was another duo in town and set to take over. Simp and Abizi found themselves on Atlanta FaZe this year, fresh off a dominant World Championship victory to close out Black Ops 4. Known for their heavy slaying and diminutive stature, the Tiny Terrors were redefining what an SMG duo should look like, and winning basically everything in the process. Times were changing, and T2P would have a huge task in staying on top. Tensions were high because the OpTic brand was no longer in the hands of Hex and Scump, but the Immortals-owned OpTic Gaming Los Angeles were not T2P's true enemy. That title belonged to the Dallas Empire. Empire were known for being rather strong online, and the desire to humble them increased with every scrim they lost. Until finally, the first event arrived and the stage was set. Chicago Huntsmen versus Dallas Empire. the moment they'd all been waiting for.
And there was just so much anger built up.
Yeah, they were just running us online. We were
Shooting our
like,
bodies
today's
in.
the day. It's land time.
4 seconds needed. Can Empire get in? Can they get a touch, or will it in here? Nobody's going to get close enough. It's Chicago. Come in and dominate the response. And
Huntsman emerged victorious, and T2P made their feelings clear. This was a personal rivalry, because after years of sharing the main stage, Crimsix now stood on the opposite side. Crim thought he and Scump would stay together through franchising, but instead he found himself pushed out. The bad blood was undeniable, but the chemistry of T2P proved to be too strong.
I think now we have a better grasp on how we should be competitive with each other, and nowadays it's more so like we appreciate each other more this time around. Do you think that I've forgotten about the 10 gifted that you owe me still?
Oh wait, I did. I actually was just thinking about that. I was laying in bed. And
Over the last month and a half, it feels like we're back in 2016 again. We have a great time together. It's honestly a blast.
now just 5 points away. A double from FormaL, a triple from FormaL, and that'll do it. Empire put to bed. It's a Huntsman.
At the London home series, Huntsman showed Empire levels when it came to LAN, and the crowd was behind them.
Oh, I mean, it's great to have him back. His communication, his gun skill, his decision making, it's all top tier. So to have the duo back and for us to win our very first tournament together, I mean, we're right back to business as usual. So.
But in a shocking twist, the league was then forced entirely online due to the pandemic. For a team backed by the most passionate fanbase in Call of Duty, this was a crushing blow. T2P did capture another home series event, but the World Championship yet again slipped through their fingers. The two teams in the final at Champs 2020, Dallas Empire and Atlanta FaZe. Simp and Abizi wouldn't win this one, but they would triumph again the following year and make the grand finals the year after. And the champions, Crimsix and Clayster, with Shotzi, Hook and Illy. Crim and Clay were forging their own case for greatest duo after brief shared success back in the Complexity days, although the New York Subliners disaster class in 2022 mostly ended that discussion. Shotzi and Hook would have a rather up and down future in store, but securing their second ring together in 2025 puts them in the conversation too. As the season transitioned to Cold War, T2P were back under the OpTic brand, and hope was in the air. But ultimately, the league remained online, and the passion of T2P began to only diminish. Then came the breaking point at Major 2, another pivotal round 11 which decided their season. The 1v3 loss to accuracy destroyed any confidence OpTic Chicago had built, and they failed to make any noise through the season, and FormaL was totally checked out.
Like, bro, we got ran by Lamar in a 1 in a million chance 1v3, and 2 hours later, we're all high on Dill's balcony being like, bro, that motherfucker's so icy.
I should have been a better leader to the younger guys. I just felt like I could have done a lot more.
And then came the final nail in the coffin in the offseason.
So we lost to Champs, and I instantly was told Envy now is merging with us. Right. So I was like, what the f does that mean? And this sucks for Matt, because Matt was on the team.
You were collateral.
Yeah, Matt, honestly, Matt and Dylan, I felt so bad for them because it was a roster move that we didn't want to make.
OpTic and Envy were now merged, with 8 players forced to become only 4. For FormaL, his time on OpTic was officially over. Or so we thought. FormaL's connection with OpTic remained as he led the Halo team to a World Championship the following year, and Scump also tasted victory with a major win in 2022. And ultimately, this proved one thing. While Scump and FormaL were no longer teaming, the legacy they shared with OpTic remained unbroken. Of all the duos that we have discussed, Aches and TP, Attach and Zuma, Simp and Abizi, Scump and FormaL still reign supreme.
The winner of Duo of the Year is T2P. Scump and FormaL, what a duo.
They're the biggest trolls in the community. They know how to have a good time.
A legendary duo that belongs on the Mount Rushmore of competitive Call of Duty.
But will that be the case for much longer, as there is yet another duo in town? Shotzi and Dashi, the first ever duo to win back-to-back World Championships, and with Shotzi following on from Scump's legacy as the face of OpTic's COD team, and Dashi being FormaL's protege, this new duo, dubbed B2B by some, are setting their sights on the mythical three-peat. But with unmatched individual performances, a record 19 championships and an era-defining legacy between them, T2P will take some beating.
T2P up in this biatch.